Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of whatever this is. I guess we'll just call it Go Ask Alex. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about things that will make your home more accessible to a person with an ostomy. So whether that's you, your home, and you're preparing to have an ostomy or recently had ostomy surgery, or if it's someone that you love, a parent, a child, a sibling, a partner, and you just want to be prepared to make your home as comfortable as possible. I've compiled a little list of my recommendations, so let's get into it. Just as a quick note, I wanted to remind you that I have an ileostomy, so my experience is just coming from the perspective of someone with an ileostomy, and I can't speak to what the needs are for a person who is living with a different type of ostomy. So for starters, right off the bat, one of the things that I always recommend having in your home are electrolytes. These are super helpful since the colon is where the vast majority of water is absorbed in your body. So a lot of people find that they get dehydrated when they have an ileostomy. So it's really important to keep yourself hydrated. Electrolytes are a big part of that. If you do have chronic dehydration, as many of us do, that can lead to kidney problems in the future. So making sure that you have electrolytes is paramount. I personally recommend Nuun. They're my favorite brand. That's spelled N-U-U-N. Please sponsor me, Nuun. Send me free products. They're expensive. Hydralyte is another one that a lot of people use, and Pedialyte. I don't recommend using regular Gatorade just because it has such a high sugar content. It's a diuretic. If you're gonna do Gatorade or Powerade, I'd go for the diet or zero versions of those that don't have that high sugar content. Okay, my next few recommendations are centered around your bathroom and how to make your bathroom as comfortable as possible for a person who has an ostomy. Number one, people with an ostomy will often have to get up many times in the night. I know for me it's 1 to 3 times on average to use the washroom. When you're doing this, you're half asleep, you're having to do technical things and be really observant of what's going on in front of you. And use those motor skills that are pretty difficult to use in the middle of the night, and especially when it's dark out. So one of the things that has been really great for me is putting a night light in the bathroom. Makes a huge difference because I can see what I'm doing at night without having to have that really bright light on that just shocks my system, makes me squint my eyes, I'm disoriented. It's really not pleasant, and I do feel that it will further disrupt my already very dysregulated sleep schedule to have that bright light on. If a night light isn't enough, what I've done is I bought a motion activated light up soap dispenser, as well as one of those motion activated toilet bowl lights. So those both glow blue for me in the middle of the night, which is easier on my eyes than that really bright overhead light. There are also these awesome little button lights you can get. I always find them at Canadian Tire. They don't have Canadian Tire everywhere in the world, obviously, but Home Depot, Lowe's, that sort of thing. And those are just little buttons that are battery operated. Sometimes they're motion activated and you just press them to turn the light on, press them to turn it off, and you can position that next to the toilet as well to give yourself a little bit more light. Also in the bathroom, I highly recommend getting a really squishy bath mat for the floor. This is because for people who have an ostomy, they're often kneeling on their knees in order to empty the ostomy into the toilet. Some people do it sitting or standing. There's tons of different ways you can do it, but the vast majority of people are on their knees to empty it. And that can be really painful on a hard floor or with a bath mat that's lumpy and bumpy. So having something, preferably memory foam and as thick as possible next to the toilet is super useful for being able to empty your ostomy without having physical pain. Another very helpful thing to have in the bathroom is a well-mounted toilet paper dispenser. It's really common for toilet paper to be put on this sort of single piece of metal that's attached to the wall, but because it's so easy for the toilet paper to fall off of that, and a lot of the times you're only using one hand or kind of juggling multiple things while you're trying to change or empty your ostomy, that can be very difficult because the toilet paper just flies off. If you have a toilet paper mount that the pressurized kind that keeps the roll snugly between two pieces or even set into the wall slightly, those are what I highly recommend because it's very easy to be able to get a piece of toilet paper off of that roll with just one hand. The freestanding toilet paper dispensers, the ones that, you know, they always look like the Eiffel Tower or something really kitschy, those are the worst. I hate them. You're trying to use it with one hand, the whole thing falls over, it clatters, it's loud, it's the middle of the night, or you're in a cafe or something, and you just don't want to bring that attention to yourself. So I really advise getting a firm, well-mounted, solid toilet paper dispenser that is going to be as easy as possible to use with just one hand if you need to. For the bedroom, one amazing thing that I can't recommend enough is having a really good waterproof and machine washable mattress cover. So that goes underneath of your fitted sheet, and the purpose of it is just to keep your mattress safe and clean. So these are actually really common for, you know, people who menstruate, for instance. Accidents happen, more to some people, less to others. I don't personally struggle with that anymore since it's been so long since my surgery. It's something that's very rare for me, knock on wood. But having that mattress protector just means that if something does happen with the integrity of your medical device in the middle of the night, you know that you are safe and that can just be pulled off and cleaned. And that's especially nice when you're sharing the bed with someone because it's a really humiliating thing. It feels really embarrassing and there's a lot of shame associated with that. So I think overall, you know, these are great recommendations for how to make your home and your bathroom more accessible. And the most important thing is just to be compassionate to the person or people that you love who are living with this condition, this disability, and also be compassionate with yourself. Thanks for watching, and if you don't want to miss any updates or new videos, you can subscribe, and you can also visit goaskalex.com. Thanks so much.